guys, Steve Girardi here. Welcome to Steve Strings. Today I have another review video for you. Today I'll be looking at the Makai CK-55. If you look at the website today for Makai, you'll see that they have the CK-55A and not the CK-55. And that's because this instrument I'm looking at today is a slightly older version than the ones that they're selling here today. I picked this one up pre-owned and I was quite impressed by it, so I want to let you know about it. I should say right up front that the difference between the CK-55 and the CK-55A is that the original instrument came with black GHS strings and the CK-55A comes with Aquila strings. Otherwise, according to the folks at Makai, they're essentially the same instrument except for that and one other thing, and that is the tuners. The newer instruments have mechanical tuners as opposed to friction tuners. I'm told that the CK-55 had friction tuners from 2008 through 2010, and so that tells me that this instrument is at least 10 years old now. So even at 10 years of age, I should say that this thing has held up really well and sounds great with what I presume may very well be the original strings. I don't know. But let's go ahead and go over it. So let's start with the headstock. If I kind of zoom in here, you can see that this has the Makai logo silk screened onto the headstock, and the headstock has a mahogany veneer. This instrument is a laminate mahogany instrument. The neck is a NATO neck. It does have a scarf joint here at the heel, which is barely perceptible. And it does have a scarf joint here at the headstock, but of course is not visible because of the veneer on the front of it. It has a bone, nut, and saddle with a fairly diminutive bridge, which is rosewood, as is the fretboard. Again, rosewood, with these mother of pearl position marker inlays. It does not have position markers on the player side, which is kind of too bad, because I would prefer that personally. The frets, even at this age, are clean. They don't have any fret sprout at all. You can see that at one point this instrument was obviously fret leveled because the crowns of the frets are actually flat. So I don't know if that was done later or if it originally left the factory with frets that had not been recrowned after fret leveling. Either way, it plays just fine. The finish on this is described as a matte finish, and I should say that unlike some other mahogany instruments I've seen that are open grain, this obviously has had grain filler applied because there is no porous grain visible on this. Some other instruments I've seen have had, even the laminate looks like it's been book matched. This does not. This is just like one sort of sheet of veneer that's on here. But again, it has a nice little pattern, fairly typical of mahogany. Again, the grain looks pretty nice. Right. It does have purfling, it does have a rosette here. It does look like it is a decal, and it looks like it is underneath at the final finish, so there's nothing to be peeling off there. From looking at this at the inside, I'm not sure if you can see this well. I can put up other pictures. But the inside walls are a lighter color than the material on the back. So I'm not sure what layer, if the sides are layered with something other than the regular mahogany, because it is a different color. From looking at the insides, I can see it's very neat and tidy. There's no squeeze out anywhere. And again, you can see the Makai label here, CK-55. Again, this instrument has friction tuners. The other instruments that I've played, with only a couple exceptions, have had the mechanical geared tuners. These actually, I found out once they're set, they actually hold pretty well. I've not had them really slipping. If a note has kind of moved off maybe a little bit, if I go to tune it, when you touch it, they'll want to move fairly quickly, but otherwise they hold pretty well. And if you're not familiar with friction tuners, basically all you do is you just tighten up that screw there to tighten the mechanism of it, to kind of tighten up that friction. So again, the new instruments, the CK-55As, do come with geared tuners. Also, from looking at this finish, compared to the images I've seen on Makai's website, this one seems a little bit lighter color, so the colors may have changed a little over the years. But from talking to Representative Makai, he said basically other than the strings and the new geared tuners, they're essentially the same instrument. So let me give you a sound sample and you get to see how it sounds. Let's go ahead and try a little finger picking now. Hopefully from that sound sample, you can see that this thing sounds pretty good. Although this is a laminate, it's a thin laminate, and hopefully you can hear that. I mean, this thing is ringing just from tapping on it. So despite being a laminate, this has some pretty good sound. I've noticed that some instruments tend to project more on certain strings. Some instruments I know, the C string, the lowest string, they project more on. Others, you know, it's that high string, the high A they project more on. This one, on this one, I think the E string. The E string seems to be the sweetest of the strings. But it sounds good. So I would say that if you're looking for an instrument that is a laminate mahogany, this Makai is certainly one to look at. I've said in some other videos that the mahogany, laminate mahogany concert scale ukuleles are a very crowded market. I think in the near future I may look at doing a comparison video of them. But this one here certainly holds its own in that crowd. It's not overly expensive. The fit and finish are very good. I can find no finish flaws or imperfections in here anywhere. The sound is good. And again, the newer instruments come with the geared tuners, and they come with aquila strings. Of course, you can obviously change it out to anything you would like. But ultimately, I can say this is a nice little instrument. So if you come across a used one, a CK-55, and you get it at a good price, like I did this one, snatch it up. But if you're looking for a newer one, they're out there and available also. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thanks for watching.